My name is Lisa and this is Pine Notes. If you are new to Pine Notes, I welcome you. I am a beginner crocheter. For those of you who don't know, I have been crocheting 1 year and 11 months come this December. I learned a new stitch and I'm thrilled to bring it to you. It has been my absolute pleasure to share with you the new stitches I learn as a beginner and hopefully prevent you from making some of the same mistakes I did along the way. So today's little how-to is Tunisian crochet, also known as the Afghan stitch, and this is beginner tips. In front of us we have the Hudson Bay Wool Ease Thick and Quick yarn from Lion Brand, and I will link the article below. Out of millions of photos that they could have chosen, they chose this one to feature on their community spotlight on November 25th, and I couldn't be more thrilled. It's little things like that that keep me going and keep this channel fresh and exciting, because boy did I work to get to this point. And we'll go over that just real quick. If you don't know what Tunisian crochet is, or also known as Afghan crochet, it's a type of crochet that uses an elongated hook with a stopper at the end. Sometimes this can be a little bit of crocheting meets knitting, if you will. It's definitely borrows techniques from both knitting and crocheter, and if you've been on my channel before, I am not a knitter. Knitting and I just don't get along, even though my grandmother on my paternal side was a prolific knitter, crafter, all around great role model for all of us out here in the yarny community. And I'm going to show you my first project and promise not to laugh. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen my progression with this. And here is my, and this is after blocking, I just want you to know that, my little wiggly wobbly crochet technique. And you could tell this is where I started, and with practice, yes, it did get a little bit better at the end. And this was my very first Tunisian crochet. Now I'm going to show you the back so you know a little better what Tunisian crochet is. See the stitches running down here? That's what makes it the knit, if you will, of fabric, to make this nice tight fabric. And we are looking at Scarfy by Lion Brand in the color teal and cream. And before you ask, no, I am not sponsored by any yarn companies. These are just all my own choices and fabrics I like to use. So that was my little wobbly experience. And this is a much better version of Tunisian crochet. You can see it's definitely more flexible. It's the same size from beginning to end. And yes, this is the same material. This is Scarfy, but you notice you can almost see light through this, where the other example was a tighter, firmer, and there's no light coming through that, and that's because of hook size. I learned to increase my hook size, and we'll go over that in a second. I just want to introduce you to Scarfy. These two projects are the first time I am using Scarfy. Absolutely wonderful yarn. My only complaint is zero color selection. So Lion Brand, if you're listening, please bring this out in more colors. It's a wonderful fabric to work with. Scarfie is 312 yards per ball. It is 78 acrylic and 22% wool. Now if you're looking for the hook size, it is a recommended K10 or 6.5 millimeter, and that is where I made my mistake. We'll go over that in a few. And it is considered a size bulky yarn. Now where we can go from there is, since I mentioned hook size and you can see the difference between the two materials, these are the Tunisian crochet hooks, and this was under $5. This is a size J, and you can notice they're both Susan Bates. They're about the same size, only this one has a cable. Can you Tunisian crochet without a special hook if you just want to try it? Absolutely, and we're going to do a small how-to at the end using just a regular hook, because last year, in my first year of crochet, this is how I started. And then I increased, and I found these wonderful Tunisian crochet hooks by Knitter's Pride. This is the Dreams collection, and it's knitterspride.com. You can get these pretty much most everywhere, and these are just gorgeous hooks. Now I chose to splurge a little bit. You do not have to do this, but my thing is, this cable will come off and attach to any other Tunisian crochet hook in this line, and even knitting needles. So it's very expandable. That's why I decided to invest. And when I say invest, this is $10 for this set. So you purchase your cable, and that's around $5, and then the extra charge for this. So the bigger the hook size, of course, the more you're going to pay. And again, that is my hooks. Now, does sizing up a hook compared to the label matter? Yes, absolutely. You want to size up 1 or 2 sizes depending on the tightness of crochet. You're going to get a curly girl here with all these waves if you use too small a hook. So needless to say, I did this one with the size J hook because that's all I had, and boy did I learn a lot, so I don't regret that at all. This is a size J10 or 6 millimeter crochet hook. Now what size hook does the yarn? Yeah, I never bothered to read until I showed you guys. It really takes a size K hook, which is recommended, and again, using what I already had in stock, I used a size N, so K, L, M, N. So I went up 2 or more hook sizes to get a better release in the fabric. Still just as soft and flexible, but I went up to an N15 or 10 millimeter. And you can tell how much I'm using these. Look at the prints wearing off. So this one. Now, this right here, you see another curly girl, the one that was featured on Lion Brand's website. This was also crocheted with the N or 15 10 millimeter hook. What does the label in the Wool Ease Thick and Quick tell us? It tells us that N is the recommended hook. Yeah, it didn't work. It's curly, it's lumpy, it's bumpy. This honestly feels like a rug. So if you're making a household item and you need a good sturdy rug, use the same size hook. But for wearing a comfortable scarf, this is hard as a rock. I want something a little more flexible to wrap around the neck, to move, and that is when I sized up. And this is my 12 millimeter hook here. And a 12 millimeter is also a size P or Q, depending where you're at. In the UK, or America here, and much better results with a bigger hook. If you're going to try Tunisian crochet for the first time, absolutely try wool ease or thicker yarn, because can you crochet with thinner or tinier yarns? Well, you know, one of my all-time favorite yarns is Shawl and the Ball, and since they've come out with this new metallic, and I had it sitting on my desk, of course I'm going to try it. This is one I wouldn't size up with. The recommended hook size for this is size J, 10 or 6 millimeter, but can you see the difference here compared to, say, something like Red Heart Super Saver? A recommended size for Red Heart Super Saver is an I, yet they're recommending a J for this thinner, tinier yarn. And I'll try and pull both up here so you can see. Use common sense. That's all crochet is just common sense. So yes, I use the recommended hook for this. I use this one right here, our Susan Bates Tunisian crochet hook, and oh, look at this gorgeous fabric you can achieve. So yes, you can use thinner yarns, absolutely, and I did not size up in this. This is not stiff. It is a little bit difficult. Don't start here. Start with your woolies. This is because inquiring minds wanted to know, and you know I love my shawl in a ball. So next up, we are going to do a little bit of Tunisian crochet. So let me clear the table and I'll be right back. What I have before us is Red Heart Super Saver yarn. Recommended hook size for this is a size I9 or 5.5 millimeter. I also have a little bit of our Red Heart Boutique Unforgettable. The colorway is in Dragonfly, and of course this is Mistletoe. The recommended hook for our Unforgettable is a J, and again, use common sense when it comes to choosing your hook size. And if you do a couple rows and it's too tight and it's really curling up with you, I would abandon it and go with a bigger hook size. In this case, I would almost say, because this yarn is much thinner and finer, that you could get away with a J, so I wouldn't recommend sizing up. However, with the Red Heart Super Size, the recommended is an I hook. I would definitely size up with this yarn because it is a little bit bigger. And as I mentioned, and bigger I mean the yarn itself has more girth to it. It's substantial compared to the nice, light, thin, fine yarn of Unforgettable. What we're going to do first is you're going to go ahead and make your slip stitch. And remember I told you you can use a regular hook just to try it out? That's how I learned before I got a Tunisian hook, or Afghan hook as it's also known as. And the only thing is you gotta hang on to your stitches, so you don't want too many on here. So let's just say we're going to do 10. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And if you notice here, none of my yarns are in a solid color. You can absolutely use a solid color yarn if that's what you prefer, but I think the effect is just gorgeous when you use a slight variation in colorway to change. That gives it more depth and character. But again, if you have solid yarn, please don't feel obligated to use a variegated yarn like this. So here we go. All you're going to do, I have 10 chains, go into that next one, and I like to pull up 2 on top here, and you are just going to pull up and stop. Next chain, pull up and stop. Again, I am making sure that that V is always on top for my starter chain. That's just what I happen to like in my crochet. If you can't get that to go on top and you're just practicing for right now, absolutely do what makes you comfortable. And you want to not have a tight tension. I can already tell you my first couple stitches here, probably because I'm on camera, is a little tighter than I would have liked for the first foundation chain. So I'll try and breathe and pull up my stitches here. And my last one right here. Alright, so that's all your stitches right here. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is the number you're going to remember as you grow your project. That number is not going to change, and I do recommend when you're beginning to count every single time, because somehow I misplaced, dropped a stitch, added a stitch in my crochet. So if you're first starting out to feel successful, I would certainly count every time you have all your stitches cast on. And when they talk about the definition of Tunisian crochet being a mixture between crochet and knitting techniques, the knitting technique is right here, because you have all your stitches cast on. And again, I'm teaching to beginners out there. If you already know this, that is awesome. These are things I wish I had known as a beginner crocheter learning Tunisian crochet for the first time. Alright, and this is also the part that always confused me, the beginning and the end. So what do? Alright, yarn over, pull through, and you just finished your last stitch. Yarn over again, and that is your second row. Yarn over one more time and pull through both, because that's really your second stitch. And we'll go through that again. Yarn over, pull through and grab the other one. Yarn over, pull through and grab. Yarn over, pull through 2. Here we go. And this, once you get really going at this, this gets really speedy. I know it's a little cumbersome because we're at the chain, we're at the foundation of our stitches. Here we go. We're coming to our last stitch here, and this is the second place I made my mistake. You've got this, pull through. Now this is your last stitch. Yarn over, pull through, stop. How many of us are trained just to automatically chain up? You don't do that with Tunisian crochet. You stop right there, because look at this. This little guy right here on your hook is your second row. It is the first step up in your second row. And what kind of made me remember the step up is the old Jane Fonda step aerobic videos. So going back, we're going to go into this ladder looking thing, and I'm just going to push my hook through a couple of them. Don't do that if you're following me along. I just want you to see that by pulling up the foundation, you've got all these little stitches. That's what you're going to be working in here, and I can show you a bigger example. Here you go. You're working into all these lines all the way up. So you're not going to insert into a loop or anything. You are working right inside what I call the little ladders of this. And we will go ahead, and I'm going to gently pull my hook back out. That's your first one. Here's my yarn. insert hook. This is our first step up. Yarn over, pull up. Now you've got two. So you know you're working one leg in step aerobics and you're on one side. Well, this is that one side. So you're working that one leg until exhaustion. So here we go. Under, pull, up. Same leg, same exhaustion factor. I don't know how many of you guys are from the 70s and 80s and even remember Jane Fonda. In the comments below, just say I do, and I'll know what you're talking about. So step up, insert hook, still working that same first round, the same leg if you will, step up. Insert hook into that ladder, pull up. Insert hook into the ladder, and here again is that odd stitch. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You know that this 10th stitch that's kind of hidden over here is your very last one. Pick that up, yarn through. You're done with that leg. That leg is exhausted from doing step aerobics. You're done with that step. Now we're going to finish off by pulling through. This will give you height. This stitch right here will give you the first stitch in your next row, and this one is for your second stitch because you're pulling through both. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Yes, we're on our other leg now. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. And for any of you who didn't know, yes, I taught aerobics and yoga for 18 years, part-time, while I worked a full-time job. So that's where my metaphors come from. And pull through. You're on that last stitch. Just remember, you're going to yarn over, pull through, and stop. No chaining. No chaining. Look at this nice little ladder you're creating here. And the beautiful Tunisian crochet. Let's go through one more time again. Alright, your first step. See this nice ladder here? Look at that variegation right there. Insert that hook under the first rung in the ladder and pull up and stop. 2 loops on the hook. Next ladder, pull up and stop. Next rung on the ladder, pull up and stop. Or if you like my Jane Fonda metaphor, go ahead and step up, work that leg. Here we go. My husband always says I sound like a Cedar Point worker, which is indigenous to Ohio and the area. I know that. But please keep all hands and arms inside the ride at all times. And here we go. Let's count. Let's see how many I've got on my hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one is way over there. Go and grab it. Yarn over, pull up. You are finished with that leg. But now we've got to give it some height. So you're going to do a chain 1. This stitch right here is for really your second one, because you're going to yarn over again and grab 2 stitches. And again, I'm on camera, so my tension is a wee bit tighter. Please relax the shoulders down, take a deep breath, and pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Now can you imagine if we use the recommended size I hook for this instead of sizing up to a size K, and a size K is a 10.5 or a 6.5 millimeter. In the recommended yarn, the I9 was a 5.5, so yeah, we sized up, and look how nice and firm this is. You know, using common sense, I would even try an L hook with this. If you're just playing around, finding your tension, making little squares for your Christmas tree or whatnot, or holiday items. Did you see that? Stop. 2 stitches are right there. And we'll go ahead and finish. stitches, working that leg, stepping up with one foot on the rungs of the ladder, whatever metaphor. I wish someone would have told me these little tips. And yeah, Tunisian crochet is going to curl on you. That's why blocking is so important. And if you check out my Instagram account, which is Lisa Pine Notes on Instagram, you will see me blocking my original one. It is the longest block I've ever done. I used my weights from my treadmill on it. Alright, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Don't forget that end loop. Let's pull up, finish that row. 10 loops here. We need to add height. You're going to chain 1. This next stitch is really for your second loop. So yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over and pull through 2. Very hard looking from behind the camera, by the way. Oh, I hope everybody had a good holiday. I took a little time off from social media. It was very weird to be away from the camera, away from Instagram. And I sincerely miss you guys. I like talking to you. Alright, last one. And that's it. We'll leave you there. And look at that beautiful pattern that you're achieving here. And boy, you know, once you have your pattern down, you can make this into almost anything. You know, if you've got about 12 inches or so, you can make a headband out of this. You can make a pair of wristed gloves depending how long you make it. It doesn't just have to be a scarf. You can make home goods, as I mentioned before. I do want to mention before we leave here, because we're almost at 15 minutes, I finished, this has not been blocked, I will tell you that much, this has not been blocked, but I took and I finished with a nice slip stitch, and this is a good area because there's real contrast in the yarns here. I took and finished this right here all the way around, and I added a half double crochet at the end because I think I'm going to add fringe. I want to block this first before I add fringe, and that's why I added a half double crochet and then just a slip stitch going all the way around, just so it has a nice shape, a sturdiness. And this is the perfect size, the flexibility that I found using our yarn here, and this is probably going to be the fringe. Well, I hope you enjoyed the introduction into Tunisian crochet. These are some things I wish someone would have told me when I started. And the question I posed to Instagram is, should I frog the teal and cream scarf? Leave your comments below and let me know what you think. I've got a mixture of replies on Instagram, so I'm curious to see what all my subscribers here on YouTube think. And as always, I thank you, sincerely thank you. This is a season of giving gratitude and thanks to all my subscribers out there. I appreciate you coming here, your conversations, your subscriptions, your thumbs ups. Share this video if you'd like. So make it a great day, and let's crochet. We'll catch you next week. Take care, everybody.